What is going on, guys? I'm Ergo, and today the Volt broke. How does this keep happening, Volt? What are you doing to me right now? Jake's here. We're gonna do things. So this is my 2012 Chevy Volt. It has 80,700 something miles, so only 768 more miles than the last time we talked about the Volt being broke. The last time was this bearing on this end of the transmission there, transaxle, everything. The drive unit itself, there's a main bearing at the end of it, and that went bad. It's superseded by a newer part. Chevy took care of that. It was all under warranty, no problem. But this time, it's on me. This rear shock bushing failed and the shock came off of the bushing. So I'll show it to you right now. We already removed the wheel, it's sitting right there, and the fender liner, and we jacked it up with a block onto the jack-ish section of the body there. Of course, you need those rubber pucks with the 4 slots through them to actually lift this correctly. It sits on the pinch welds and then you lift there, like almost every car now. But I don't have those, so I took a 2x4 and lifted on the big liftable section of the body right at the back there. I'll show you where I lifted. Right there. It's about the most structure you could possibly lift on. It's not the torsion bar. And then of course right here is that bushing that came out of the shock. You can see the shock. I heard a bunch of noise. It was that while I was driving. It was banging around back there. I was like, what could possibly be wrong in the back of this? It sounded like a spare tire banging around. But of course there is no spare, and yeah, it's pretty simple out back. So Jake walked in and was like, what did you break? There's not much you can break. He's right too. Somehow the bushing just popped right off the shock. Today we're gonna change this rear shock, and it is one of the nicest removals I've ever seen. First, you're gonna need a Torx driver. I would recommend having it at least. This is a T15. There's like 6 or 7 Torx screws that hold this fender liner in. You're gonna need a 10mm. There's 2 studs welded up in here at the very top of the fender. The fender liner attaches there, and it also has 2 plastic push fasteners because GM had to make sure that there were 3 different fasteners you had to go get tools for in order to get this out. But it doesn't take more than a few seconds, especially if you got a trim tool. The trim tool helps immensely, so you can pop those off real fast. We got it out. It's sitting right behind me, and the shock is honestly about the easiest thing you could ever change. We went to O'Reilly's already and ordered it, but it won't be here for another hour, so I was like, hey, let's go get the old one out. And yeah, that took like 3 minutes. So pull the fender liner after you get the wheel off. Maybe throw a jack stand under it so it doesn't fall, but hey, we're gonna be here the whole time. There's 3 bolts. They should all be the same size. I'm gonna go figure out what that is. It looks like a 15 or a 16, maybe a 17, and we'll go from there. All right, so it was the one it looked like, which is an 18. So let's pull this down. This bracket is super nice. What a great installation, GM. We reached up inside underneath the interior trim looking for this top bolt for the shock, and of course it wasn't there. So then we came underneath here and started looking around. I was like, oh look, you just pull 2 bolts and it's done. And there's 1 more bolt down here at the bottom we'll have to get off, but let's get this off first. Let's see. Yeah, good luck with this. It's not that tight, never mind. It's just, you're just afraid of busting your knuckles every time. You're like, no, I don't have gloves on. There we go. Quick and easy. Back this one all the way off. And just think, all we wanted to do today was go ride motorcycles. Here we are fixing the Volt. It's also, it was like 0 degrees yesterday and it is 63 today. It's higher, the high was supposed to be 61, but it is currently 63. We did spend the entire morning working on Tyler Hoover's Porsche. Top secret things I can't tell you about. It's too bad, that's definitely still a good Strut shock. Look at that. It's so new, the label's still on the thing. This car's been taken care of though. So, of course, you're gonna need a switch again down to like a 14 to pull this bracket off. I'm gonna go get that. Every single bolt we've had to take out for this job has been a different tool. So thanks for that one. It's well built, but this toolkit skips 20.
That electronic parking brake is really cool though.
It is super cool.
Just a little motor assembly and controller in there.
Yeah,
right around.
Big fan of that design there, where it's just tucked back in there. Also have to fix the electronic parking brake on the Jag, and like this would take what, like 15 minutes to fix. The Jag is probably a full day job. I have no doubt.
No doubt.
All right, that's the 15. I have a feeling this is gonna hurt. Whatever we're doing here is ill-advised. Reverse. Let's try this. It's
Did it? Vice grip on the shaft?
yeah, vice grip on the shaft. That's the only way it's gonna happen, huh? Here we go. Yeah! All right. Nice bracket is off. You probably have to save this cover. Definitely looked like you had to save the cover. That's like about the same assembly you would have as a lift strut on this thing. We do have to take that lower bolt off. It's a good call. There you go.
I mean, your forearm looks great.
That's all you need is an impact. That's kind of the key. For reference, this is what broke. This bushing literally came completely out of where it belongs on here. And I'm renting the Volt out on Turo tomorrow, so I couldn't just say forget it. Like normally I'd be like, you know what, don't drive this car, we'll get the parts whenever we feel like it. Otherwise I'd drive the Rampage. Doesn't it look bent to you? I think the shaft looks bent.
It doesn't look right.
Yeah, like if you put it on the ground so you have a reference. All right, so turn it in my hand.
Yeah.
It's definitely bent.
Yeah.
Like that's holding it still. Speaking of Turo, we're gonna do a lot more Turo videos, I think. This is getting rented out now because it's been on Turo forever and I only let it go out once before. I was just like, it's my car. I don't want people to rent it because they might destroy it. But I've rented tons of cars on Turo and like Corvette Z06s and 911s, everything we rent when we're traveling. If we're doing a fly-in, we just rent something cool off Turo and go. So I wanted to see if we could make this car free and then maybe buy some more cars and get them all for free. Like I'm thinking a Slingshot, maybe a Maserati Ghibli. I'm just looking at different cars that would rent well and that are also very cheap so that we can have Turo write the entire check for the car. And of course, I'm talking like total cost of ownership here, not just the payment, but the payment, insurance, maintenance costs, any fuel I have to do, any repairs I have to do. I want to make sure the car is completely free and they have to be pretty new to do it. So the Volt's the logical one to start with. Let's get back to the repair. All right, we're here at the Mecca.
Perfect.
What's going on, man?
Nothing much.
That's VIP service here. Are these for me?
No, just in the back.
Okay, I was like, I only wanted one. Have you guys been to the back of an O'Reilly's? I know Kurt has, since he works at O'Reilly's. This is a secret VIP tour.
Go for it. It's a little messy.
What's up, Jake?
Not much.
How's the office?
Oh,
I'll hide everything important.
feels amazing.
I'm sure everybody that does anything with cars has been in the back of O'Reilly's, but this is the brake zone. This is used oil. These are batteries going out. And these are parts. Belts, struts.
Never again. Never again. Okay, so.
You got that good?
Yeah, buddy. I already paid you, huh?
Yep.
Yep.
Thanks, X.
Yep. You have a good one, JR. Adios.
Later, man. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You want to be in the vlog?
Yeah.
What were you guys doing? I saw you out here with the hood up.
I got some coolant.
Oh, cool. Well, have fun. I have one of these. What year?
That's an 04.
I have a 01. This one's much nicer, though. Mine's freaking deep.
I like mine. It's nice.
Paid 300
Sounds
bucks.
good.
Oh, you got the heated seats.
Yeah, I do. They don't work though. It's old.
Man, I love that receiver, how it's upside down. I just love this truck. It's a good truck.
Yeah, it's nice.
All right, guys, have fun.
See you, bro.
All right, I hope this is the right one. It's a Monroe OESpectrum 5663. Does she fit? I like how the garage lights just turned off. Oh, there's a nice little clip. This is definitely the right one. Looks good to me. Hey Siri, turn on the garage lights.
You got it. Coming right up.
Wait. Ah, we're back in business. How do you take it off? There it goes. I didn't think it was gonna explode out. Extendo Shocko. All right, we'll just put our cap back on here after we put on our freshly cleaned. This thing is unbelievably well cleaned.
Dude, you're on board much.
Hey man, I was so happy about that. I was like, man, that looks new. Put the shaft back down inside here. Well, Jake's under the impression that should do this. So, I'm okay with trying. 15's probably this one. There we go. Put the impact on 2.
Oh, that's covered in oil.
Yep. That it is. Oh, you weren't ready, homie.
Oh, I'm also grabbing a part.
Yeah, the part that just completely rotates. Okay, we hit this mount with the rattle gun one more time, and it rattled it on down. That's nice and tight. It'd be nice if I put it in the right direction. Okay, so you just set the bracket back in there, slap your bolts in it, start them by hand. Of course, we're being lazy at this point, so what were those? 14s, 15s? I know they weren't 18s, I think they were 15s. I wish I would have put up half the sockets. Just kidding, these are 18s. So we'll just set the impact on its lowest possible setting. Zip them down because I don't feel like cranking on them with a ratchet. All right, those are in. We'll tighten those up. We'll torque them to spec here in a second. Let's stick this bottom bolt back in. Set it to. This one is the bottom bolt is of course the 21. That was it. It started.
You're gonna lift with your back, right?
Right. Lift with your back for sure. Okay, we got the torque wrench out. It's set to 45 foot-pounds. We couldn't find a torque spec for this, so I used kind of a typical strut torque setting, which is around 45 for a top plate. We're gonna go ahead and set each of these to 45, and we'll set the bottom one to about 90, since that's a gigantic bolt. And this should go pretty quickly here if I can get my torque wrench in, which I was concerned about. There we go. That's how it goes. All right, let's throw this fender liner back on. I think everything's ready to go back together. Get the wheel on it, and you'll be back on the road. It's not really hard. It's really just a few bolts, a little bit of your time. The main thing was just waiting for the strut to come in. Fender liner is going back in. Pop this thing up in here. Looks like I'm close. We just took this thing for a quick test drive. There are no more noises out of the rear end. Let's see if I can scan this. Window it is. Scanned. The wash will start shortly. So we're washing it, and I'll probably let you guys know how tomorrow goes with the rental. And hopefully this thing rents out. It needs to rent out seven or 8 times a month to cover its payment and the tags and insurance probably. And that is it for today, guys. Please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time. Of course, you need those pucks with the fork slits through them. Sluts.
Demonetized.
Demonetized.